1:05 p.m. Ted buzzed me. "You're not going to like this." "What's the matter?" "You and Hi have a visitor. Gage Renshawa." My breath caught, and my pulse elevated. Gage? That can't be. Hi and I assumed he died years ago. "But you never received conclusive proof of it." "No, but it's been years since he disappeared. Knowing Gage, he would have turned up to devil us long before this. Are you sure it's him?" "Turn on your surveillance cam and take a look." I touched the switch. The grainy picture on the monitor, not the best we should have bought, showed the reception desk. I moved the cursor to take in the rest of the room. The figure slumped on the sofa was Gage Renshawa, all right. Older, more rumpled than I remembered him, but still with that jet-black hair with a white shock hanging down over his Lincoln-esque forehead. "Son of a bitch," I said. "What should I do with him?" Ted asked. "Throw him off the roof garden." "Come on, Cher. This is serious. He's smarmy and obnoxious as ever, and he's demanding to see both you and Hi." I thought quickly. "Take him to the hospitality suite, a room off second-floor reception. Offer him food, drink, whatever. Say Rapinski and I are in conference, but we'll be with him shortly." "Will do. You want surveillance cams activated there, right?" "Yes." I cut the connection, then buzzed Hi. "I need you right away," I told him. "One of our worst nightmares has just come true." Hi and Gage Renshawa went way back, to the days when they were both flying highly questionable passengers and cargo in Southeast Asia for an outfit called K-Air, owned by a man named Dan Kessel. As Hi had put it to me, he'd suspected but didn't want to know for sure what K-Air was involved in. The planes were delivered to the pilots fully loaded, and they didn't even know their destinations until immediately before departure. There were a few times when he flew passengers concealed in the skin of the plane, meaning between the outer layer and the inside cabin, a good place to freeze to death, as one of his human cargo did. He parachuted contraband into far-flung places. Fellow pilots disappeared into those places and were never seen again. It was a violent world, but he accepted it because he had very little to return to. His father, stepfather, and mother were dead. His stepfather had willed him a small sheep ranch in California's high desert country near Tufa Lake, the region where he'd been born, but that was by no means home. He'd wandered for years, but never found a place that was home, and he assumed he never would. The turning point came when his regular flight plan was changed by Dan Kessel, the owner of K-Air, from a city in Thailand called Chiang Mai to an abandoned village near the Laotian border. He was forced down into a clearing by one of his passengers, a drug lord, where he was forced to witness a horrible massacre. That was it. Hi decided to get out, get clean, he'd said, and return to the high desert country of California. In the years that ensued, Hi became an environmentalist, married a fellow activist, and when he lost his wife to multiple sclerosis, he sank into a manic-depressive state that alarmed even those friends who'd always considered him a wild man. Then I had appeared, and our life together, while sometimes tumultuous, usually had a settled quality that neither of us had experienced before. Meanwhile, Renshawa and Kessel returned stateside and formed RKI, an international executive protection firm. Basically, what such firms do in this era of terrorist threats is contract with U.S. companies to provide security risk analysis, program design, and defensive training. They also have contingency services, crisis management, ransom negotiation and delivery, and hostage recovery. They lured back Hi into the firm as a hostage negotiator, with promises of big bucks and short hours. The bucks flew in, but long hours persisted, because Hi is as driven as I am when he's on the trail of a solution to a crime. Dan Kessel had been murdered a few years ago.